With a WWE star set to miss Elimination Chamber and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Recalling the time he was set on fire from the pyrotechnics at Elimination Chamber 2010, The Undertaker said this about the WWE employee that was terminated over the incident, telling Feet Under, "I told the guy during rehearsals, I said the pyro is too close to me. He came back with, no, I think it was just a draft in the building. The person that was responsible was not in the arena by the time the match was over, we'll put it that way, nor have I seen that person since. There was a flame ball on my hat and on my sleeve, so I shook that stuff as quick as I could. I continued that pace all the way to the ring. I get in the pod, WWE referees were asking me if I was okay. I was just telling them, get me water. So they were handing me bottles of water and I was pouring them on myself. I'm looking down and I can smell the burnt flesh." Bringing up the time he thought he would be fired from WWE, commentator for the company Corey Graves said on the Kurt Angle show, "When you've got Kevin Dunn in one ear, you've got whoever's producing in another ear, and nowadays you've got Bruce Pritchard and Triple H. But nothing rocked me like hearing the voice of Vince McMahon at any given moment. I always joke and say it's when the voice of God comes into your ears. I remember the first time I ever got a quote-unquote Vince. We were in Chicago. It was Christmas night. We did Monday Night Raw live. This was probably, 4 or 5 years ago. The Raw commentary desk was on the top of the stage by the entranceway, and we would stand up and turn around and do these reverse on camera so that the ring and the crowd were way in the back. Yeah, it was kind of a really cool setup. Michael Cole and I were discussing beforehand, and he said, listen, I'm going to do a welcome to Monday Night Raw. I'm going to say happy holidays, everybody. And he said, then you can say Merry Christmas. Here's what we have on tap. Okay, great. We're going to throw in some graphics, and Cole goes, welcome everyone to Monday Night Raw. Happy holidays, everybody. And with the speed of lightning, the boss was on the all call button, which means everybody who's listening can hear I said Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays. Meanwhile, I'm going to say I'm getting yelled at on camera and you look like a deer in headlights going, oh my, this is it, I'm getting fired on Christmas night. I have no idea, and of course we get done with it, and then he comes on and goes, aha, that was good, thanks guys. But you never know. I mean, Kurt, you know him well enough. Sometimes when Vince wanted to mess with you, you would never know. I was terrified. My heart skipped a few beats there, but man, and then conversely, somewhere down the line, when I write a book one day, I'll tell a few other stories that are a little more lighthearted, but a little definitely not for public consumption. So it's good the things that came through the headset over the years. Following the announcement of him signing a multi-year deal with AEW, Ric Flair mentioned being open to taking a table bump in the company, telling Mark Raimondi of ESPN, I learned a lot from that match. You have time for a good story? So, the night before WrestleMania with Shawn Michaels, right? Everybody is partying at the Marriott. We were at the Marriott in Orlando and everybody was there and I wasn't drinking. Michael Hayes looked at me and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm not drinking. I'm nervous about tomorrow. He said, are you kidding me? You're 59 years old. You have drank all night, not gone to bed, and had some of the best matches in the history of the business. Don't change it up now. I just started drinking. Sure enough, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I woke up and went, oh God, what have I done to myself? But it's the way I live my life. Truer words have never been spoken. You can't change who you are and just try to make it. In that last match, I was just so wound up in making sure that I weighed exactly the same thing. I didn't hydrate. I woke up and I was 2 pounds heavier. I only ate 2 egg white bites and a cup of coffee and I didn't drink any water or anything, so I just got dehydrated. I've learned. But I'm trying to think of anyone who's anywhere near my age that hasn't had knee replacements, shoulder replacements, hip replacements, and I don't have any of that, and I don't hurt. I'm not real flexible, but I've torn my rotator cuff 3 times, but I don't hurt. That's the key. So what the hell? You want to throw me through a table? I'm up for it. With her suffering a torn ACL back in July, Sonya Deville would undergo surgery as she recently posted this video to TikTok showing off her recovery. Noting why there's been a change in announcers for the Crown Jewel event, BWE revealed that Samantha Irvin on live tour duty, Byron Saxton doing the announcements, give him flowers. Taking to Facebook, former WWE star Marty Jannetty showed off photos of his foot following a medical issue, as he wrote, "So things went kind of roughly in the past 48 hours. There was a mistake with my medication which thinned my blood so much that it more than leaked. But I must say my bestest doctor in the world, Liam McCluskey, actually coached me through changing the bloody wraps over the phone. It was extra tricky because the pain in that ankle was and still is off the charts right now. Even after taking my wrong strength medicine, not strong enough. But as you can see, we got it done. Thank you, Lee. You're still the best. Loves you, my brother. P.S. I'm getting fairly good at rewrapping myself. If you need rewrapping, just give me a call." By the way, the Party with Marty podcast last night got some great reviews this morning as our best one to date. They will continue to improve, as that is our way, always better today than yesterday. For details on why LA Knight faced Roman Reigns in the main event of Crown Jewel, Ringside News wrote that while providing a preview of the event, Justin Barrasso reported on Sports Illustrated that there are currently no intentions for Knight to secure Royal Rumble victory or to headline WrestleMania 40 in a rematch against Reigns. This falls in line with Ringside News' previous exclusive reporting on that matter. Ringside News exclusively reported that WWE has had their WrestleMania main event lined up for months. This predated LA Knight's rapid rise up the roster, and we also double checked to make sure plans hadn't changed. We were able to confirm that LA Knight is not in WWE's plan for the WrestleMania main event. During an interview with Inside the Ropes, LA Knight said this about having the opportunity to work with John Cena in WWE recently. "It's crazy because, again, I said this back when I was in NXT and I won the $1 Million Championship. There are certain goals that I had written out for myself that I knew were tangible, attainable, and all that. Then there are certain goals that I didn't even think were things that were available or on the table at the time. So this is another one of those things where I hadn't anticipated me and John Cena would team up to take on one of the biggest things going right now, which is the Bloodline. So, a pretty sweet deal." Asked about how Cena is behind the scenes, LA Knight said, "He's a real jerk off screen. Actually, that's the problem. No. He's been great. He's been amazing, actually." Going over the amount that WWE was given for the Crown Jewel event, Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics wrote that the Saudi government will pay WWE more than $50 million for today's Crown Jewel, the price for each event. That's part of their 10-year deal. $50 million is equivalent to about 3 WrestleManias worth of ticket sales. The government continues to punish critics, including Mohammed Al-Ghamdi, who was sentenced to death for tweets critical of the government. Explaining why Gunther will not be appearing at the Elimination Chamber event in Australia next year, Ringside News wrote that while speaking to Krone, Gunther revealed to the German publication that he is not allowed to leave the United States for the next 6 months due to visa rules he currently has. In theory, this would be solved by April or May, but if it was extended, it would be a problem for Bash in Berlin. That being said, it appears that Elimination Chamber is off for Gunther because that February event in Australia is well outside the United States. This also played into why Gunther isn't booked for Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. During the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia today, fans could be heard chanting for CM Punk, as it remains to be seen if he ends up making his WWE comeback. Speaking of CM Punk, former WWE star Aaron Stevens said this about Punk potentially making the move to the NWA, telling Monty and the Pharaoh, "If it was good for business, absolutely. Absolutely, because the way our locker room is run, knowing Punk like I know him, he would fit right in. He gets a bad rep because the business is not the same as when him and I broke in. And I'm not saying it's good, bad. Look, society's changed. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but the business simply is not the same." On the pre-show of the event, Sami Zayn would pick up the victory over JD McDonough. Then World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins successfully defended his title against Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest would attempt to cash in his Money in the Bank contract on Rollins, but would be thwarted by Sami Zayn, who took off with the briefcase. In the next match, Rhea Ripley won a fatal 5-way match and retained her women's title against Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, and Zoe Stark. After that, Solo Sikoa defeated John Cena. Next, Logan Paul won the United States title from Rey Mysterio. Then, Io Sky retained her women's title against Bianca Belair, as Kairi Sane returned to assist Io. After that, Cody Rhodes defeated Damian Priest, and in the main event, Roman Reigns successfully defended his undisputed title against LA Knight. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.